What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video or episode of Ludus is focusing on Vulcan. Vulcan is the newest card that has been dropped into Ludus. He dropped yesterday. I've taken the time to kind of work with him a little bit, find out if he's really good or not. If I'm being honest, this is a B+ card, A- card. He does well. He's a good cleaner upper, but he's not game changing. So he is part of the Mad Science faction. His health is 3.5 million. His damage is 44,000. His attack speed is 1 second. His attack range is long, and his movement speed is high. His ability is he deals 362,000 damage in a wide frontal area and shocks them, reducing outgoing damage by 25% and slowing them down. Vulcan starts combat, increasing his attack speed by 20% every 5 seconds up to 100%. Now that's all fine and dandy, but I want, in those 5 seconds, I already want him to be going off. So I threw on Lightning Reflexes. It increases the hero's attack speed by 128% at level 99, and the movement speed is increased by 30%. So basically, he stutter steps. He goes pum pum pum, step step, pum pum pum, step step. He's just moving really fast across the board. Vulcan, I go and wholeheartedly believe he is good for the first few rounds. When you're looking at everything past or before the perks, he does very, very well. He has high damage output and stuff like that because of how much speed or how much attack speed he has. But once you start integrating in the damage perks and the shield perks, he kind of falls off a little bit. So I would attest that he is more of a splash card, as it were. The shock coming out and reducing outgoing damage by 25% obviously is really good. Anytime you can shock the opponent and reduce their outgoing damage, you're looking pretty solid. So I guess if you really want to throw him in like a shock deck, which would be Rocker, Kitsune, Griffin, Monkey King, Vulcan, Tech Golem, stuff that shocks, that would be fine. I think he would do relatively well. I think what he does is he lifts up the cards around him. I don't necessarily think he is a standalone card. But his ability, or his perk, on the other hand, I believe is a staple for all decks now. At the start of each round, you create a small shielded area around him for 10 seconds. Allies within it take 64.5% less damage. At level 20, you increase the duration of the shielded area to 15 seconds because it is at 10 seconds. But you increase it to 15 seconds at level 20. At level 60, you increase the radius of the shielded area. And at level 100, allies within the shielded area gain immunity to energy drain and energy regeneration blocking. Perfect counter for Kitsune. Perfect. Perfect counter for anything that shakes out energy. Witch Doctor's Idols do energy drain. And if you can have this active while those are active, you're basically nulling that out. And that's pretty great. If you can combine Fortification, a max level Fortification, with a max level Lightning Reflexes, you have a card that is immune to stun effects and cannot have its energy drained. Very solid combination right there in and of itself. Fortification is sitting on top of Kitsune for this build. We also have Sharknado and Hocus Pocus. Now, Hocus Pocus is really only here as a filler. I would put in the argument that maybe having Aqua Vitae would be better because of the regen coming out. But end of the day, I want Kitsune to just be getting rid of anything in front of her so she can chase after it and get stopped along the way. Get a better position within the fold of opponents because of Fortification being on her. I think it bodes a little bit better. If you really want to be an ass, Onslaught. Deal 197% extra attack damage while in the enemy's half of the board. However, you have a 45% chance to dodge attacks. So if you really want to make things hurt, you can go, let's just do it for funsies. Well, we'll strip Griffin of that, put Sharknado on him. Griffin's kind of become a side character to me now. We're going to try this with Kitsune. We're going to do Fortification, Onslaught, and Hocus Pocus. For Griffin, we're going to be doing Sharknado, Armor Plating, and Eldritch Horror. For Iron Tony, we're going to be doing Lightning Reactor and Ray of Light. And for Muerta, the quintessential Swamp, bulwark, and landmine. So let's get into the fights, see what comes of it. All right, Carlos is our first fight. Let's see. We're going to have a relatively decent battle against him. We're kind of on the same par, or same level. We're going to have to really keep eyes on that lava girl. We're going to have to keep eyes on everything just to kind of get our positionings correct. Now, I did state that I believe Vulcan is a beginning round card, and I'm still going to stick to that statement, even now when he's not really getting seen too much. But I'm just kind of watching him a little bit, watching what he's attacking, and I am watching the health bars melt a little bit. I'm really more curious as to what happens when they go super. There's so much chaos that goes on once the super hits that it's kind of hard to keep track. I'm going to do the best I can. I've had some difficulty in these recordings trying to get the right verbiage, trying to get the right point across, stuff like that. Been rather difficult, actually. But we're getting there. We already have a Super Tony, so that's good. Tony on the first and second row is good. Do not put him on the third row. It is not worth that amount of headache. But that lightning reactor is just doing work. The only perk I don't really see being a massive benefit at all, for the time being, is going to be Aqua's Aqua Vitae. I haven't seen many people run it so far. I honestly haven't seen hide nor hair of it. I think people are avoiding it as well. I think it bumps up supports. I don't think it does anything else past that. I think you can throw it on a support and have them be more supporty. I just don't see an actual point in going anywhere past that. We had a little bit of a kerfuffle there with our Tony. He kind of started wandering aimlessly into the night. But now we have Muerta and everything's fine. Landmine will forever be known as the must-have perk in this game. Forever. Really. Because watch. Everything dies. Everything dies. And there's really not a whole lot going on. Everything died. And the one thing that's shielded that can take the hits is just getting pushed into the corner and beaten to death. Sharknado is another one that I believe is a must-have in all builds. And the reason I'm saying that is at level 100, it applies a stun. And it does sit there if you have them in a corner. If you have Pirate Queen and Iron Tony bouncing them to the back, and then Sharknado comes out and they're in the back corner, they will sit there and stay stunned in that tornado. It is stupid strong, but super convenient. And we just won. Didn't take too long. But I can't really show off Vulcan. He didn't get supered. He didn't show up. It's kind of hard to showcase a card if you don't show up. So we did 27.1 million damage. They did 24.7 million. They outdid our Griffin because our Griffin never got supered, but Iron Tony carried everything. All right, let's go into fight number 2. All right, fight number 2 is against Curvis. Really easy fight. Super, super simple. I am currently testing out a theory. I've been testing it out for a couple of weeks now, but I really wanted to lock it down before I disclosed it to everybody in a video. There is a thing called bot farming that you can still do in this game. You just have to have the patience, and you have to have the understanding you are going to be losing quite a bit of trophies getting to the sweet spot. But once you get to the sweet spot, you can go and increase your trophy levels by quite a bit in a small period of time. In the last 48 hours, I have jumped up almost 500 trophies, which is pretty good. But essentially what it is you go in, when you go into the games, you start fighting. You have to go through 2 rounds, potentially 3, depending on how it's going. Now, if you're win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, you're in a halfway decent server. So it's good to keep it in mind that you may want to stay there. And it could get a lot better as you go. But if you jump into a server, I had to check Tony's thing. I'm not used to his avatar or his sprites yet, so I couldn't tell if he was tier 2 or tier 3. But essentially what you do is you go and you do these rounds. If you go and you fight someone who's way stronger than you on perks, back to back, force close out, open back up, start a new fight. That should give you a pretty fair fight. If you go into, or if you force close and open back up, and your first fight is another just, I'm going to get bitch slapped around kind of fight, then you want to quit out the fight. Don't see the fight all the way through. Quit out, start up another one, and try it again. If you get into a fight that is fair, that it's basically even Steven across the board. Okay, Vulcan is actually shredding Muerto right there. Okay, I see you. I see you, Hulk Hogan. I see you. If the fight is relatively easy, then stay in that server. I kind of lost my train of thought. Give me a second here. Okay. If you get into it and it's fair, it's even across the board, then you can stay in that server. However, if you win, back out, force close completely out, go back in, you'll have an easy fight. You'll have about 3 or 4 easy fights, and then you'll start hitting the wall again of really tough bots because you've gone on a win streak. Win streaks get punished. That's just the nature of the beast. So, if you know that the win streak's going to get punished, force close out, come back in. You're in a new server. You no longer have the win streak. Unless you go and click on the little trumpet that gives you the quest to have 10 consecutive wins, then you get coin. It will not apply to you there. You are going to hold and maintain the same record, and you're still going to get shit on if you're not strong enough to handle it. So if you plan on ladder climbing, you can do this. It is an easy way to do it. I mean, you're looking at the fights I'm getting now. I literally force closed out and did this over again. This is just where I'm at. So it's just a theory. It's not 100% concrete. I have not had the information backed up yet. It's just something I've been doing. Now, if it's solely a perception, that's fine. Because it's solely a perception and it's making me want to continue playing because I'm winning. If it's actually working, this is going to help out quite a few people. So keep it in mind. And if it works for you, comment it. Tell me it worked for you, if it did or didn't work. Let's go on to fight number 2 or 3. I can't remember. I think it's fight number 2. Alrighty, we're going to get some mini Gofio. And now we start hitting the upward climb. So, following this fight, regardless of whether I win or lose, I will back out and start in a new fight. I will back out, come back in, go into a new fight. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, that just means I'm in a wonky server again, and we'll have to redo it and go from there. It will cost me some trophies, but if I can lose 25 trophies to gain 50, I'm gonna do it, because that's gaining 25 extra. That's climbing me up the ladder. Season's almost over. I really want to try and get into top 100. I'm trying so hard. I've been trying all month, but it wasn't until recently that my perks got better and the game shifted a little bit in my favor. We are pushing him back. Let's go. Okay, so I'm also trying to figure out, in the process of doing these videos, how I want to place Vulcan. I haven't quite figured out where I want him to go. Essentially. Because second row he does well, but he's also subjected to the landmine. So I'm wondering if I need to start keeping him up against the wall. Try really hard to keep him away from everybody else. I don't know. He's kind of hard to read. If I'm being honest with myself, he's got a weird buff pattern. He's there. Like, yeah, we're just not getting what we need to get while the getting could be good, but I guess that turned the tide of battle right there. Let's fucking go. And there's our other good spot. So there we go. Now we're making a comeback. We're gonna get this. We're gonna be just fine. I have no worries. That's a lie. I worry every day. Okay, there we go. Boom. Now we're going to take him and bend him over the barrel for a little while. That tech golem's going to be a pain in the arse. Now, what do you have max level? Okay, so you gain immunity to control effects, so you cannot be stunned. That's good to know. We're gonna put Vulcan right here, just for funsies. I don't know where else to put him. He wasn't gonna land over here anyways, so the downside is I can't take too much time to plan it all out. I kind of have to go with what looks best at that time, and right now that's what looked best. That Kitsune died quickly. Pirate Queen didn't go down. Nope, it didn't go down. Cool, that was our Griffin. Our Griffin changed sides for 2 seconds, and that threw me off. He doesn't have a Griffin, Jeff, so you shouldn't have to be worried about what the Griffin's doing. It's your Griffin. But if he's gonna betray us like that... Okay, Mini Gofio. See what you got. Show me what you got. Kitsune fell dry quickly. Everything's dying so fast. Pirate Queen coming and doing work. Griffin trying as hard as he can to get down this... Nope, it's over. He wins. Unless we can shred through this golem, nope, he wins. Tech Golem beats Muerta every single time. Even with the nerf, he is still just a tanky boy who wins off of just complete and utter nonsense. But that's okay. We're gonna be fine. Once we get Kitsune supered, everything's gonna be fine. There's no need to worry. Get rid of that Tony. We don't need him. We do need that, however. And, lose. Okay. I don't like Tech Golem. 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 Had to get that all out of my system. I don't like Tech Golem. Alright, he has a Monkey King. Monkey King's gonna cause problems. This is all going sideways so quickly. But that's okay. He's outpowering us one way or another. And the fact that we dropped him down to 2 hearts and our Muerta is still standing is just essentially saying we're here. Pay attention. Alright, let's see. We're gonna go with the poison because we can. No Muerta. Or no Kitsune. So we're going to sack that. We're going to sack that. We're going to go 2-2. There's a Kitsune. Where's yours? We're going to go up there. We're going to go right there. And then we're going to go... Oh, well, missed opportunity right there. We're going to go there. And then we're going to go here. And then we're going to go here. And we're going to stack up on our Griffins. Now let's see how well we can do now. Oh, wow. Everything's going off all at once. Everything started to freeze. That was crazy sauce. All right, it's everything against the Golem. The Golem is being a punching bag. Thank you. Whew, now we're down for 1 heart versus 1 heart. All pieces are in place. Can we do it? I think we can. We're going to try. Okay. Yep, we're not looking good now. We're not looking good. There we go. There's a buff. They're not looking good, though. We're still not looking good. Come on. I just need a Muerta. Muerta. Yes! Ask and ye shall receive. And then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here. And we've supered out. We've covered up the field. You're dead. Win. Let's do this. We got to the Muerta. We did everything correctly. We shouldn't lose. We didn't lose. There we go. And we outshone. We shone bright like a diamond. We saved our trophies. We made sure to win off that 1 heart. He did 119 million. We did 176 million because of that stupid fucking Tech Golem. I hate that thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But this showed the exact strength of how this goes. Let's go one more fight, because I think we have one more fight left. I've done so many different recordings of this that I don't know where I'm at. Let's go one more. Okay, it is Panda Tina. And it is a very easy fight. Very, very, very easy. Yeah, just shred them. Just shred them all. Let's go with victory yields 4 more coin. Get those bodies rolling. Kind of figuring out Vulcan a little bit more as we go along here. I'm seeing where he is good. Again, he's going to be a wall sitter. He's going to have to be. So I'm going to have to get it into my brain that he needs to be up against the wall. He needs to be away from the landmine. He's too squishy to be near that, unless he has fortification. Lightning reflexes seems to do really well on him. Immediately getting his attack speed up quickly helps out quite a bit, it's appearing. One of these days, I will have everything in place to where I can do proper analyses with red perks and stuff like that. So, but right now where I'm sitting at level-wise and perk-wise, Vulcan is going to be a good splash card, especially when Mad Science is the faction getting buffed that week. He's going to be a good splash card. I can just feel it. So now comes in the really weird spot where all the buff patterns kind of don't line up the way they need to line up. So I've kind of painted myself into a corner here. One thing I can do is hope I can move the Kitsune over, and then hopefully I can get Vulcan into a corner or on the side, maybe. And I just noticed, or just realized, this bot had the balls to do the laughing emoji at me, and 3 regular tier 3s and a super cannot drop my Tony. Laugh as much as you want to, you little shit. I'm about to bury you. Okay, so I think we go here, here, and here. And then we go here. That breaks the rocks. Beautiful. Okay. Then we'll go Tony, Tony. Tony. Almost sacrificed that Tony for nothing. Yeah, we're good. He's done. And let's see here. Yep, drop them like they're hot. There we go. And we're going to respond in kind with Buddy. And this is the reason why I play this game. That emoji right there was enough to just make me so happy. Okay, so let's go and bring him up here to this top corner. Don't see any other spot for him that would go very well. There's no wall movements here. Go that route. Super out the Muerta, shifting everything over to here. Yeah, we're fine. He's dead. We're done. That's game over, son. Yeah, I'm watching his damage go into the Griffin, and it's not that impressive. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. Maybe having high explosives on here instead of Ricochet would be a better deal. Maybe Daydreams with... What I just say. I literally just... I'm so freaking tired. Daydreams with... Daydreams with high explosives. There we go. I had to think of the name for a second. Daydreams and high explosives. That might be better. Applying the weakness, increasing the damage to a single target. Maybe he is just a single targeter. Maybe that's the way to do it, but we beat Panda Tina's ass. Yep, 73.8 million damage to their 25.2. He did do 13 million damage off of the attack, and he did not get supered until the very end. So maybe that is the way to go with him. Maybe it is doing Daydreams with high explosives. So that way he's more of a single target focuser than anything else. I think that would probably be the best bet for him. After all the games I just got done playing with him and all the things I've tried to do leading up to this video, I would say that. Lightning Reflexes does well on him. It does basically nullify out that 5 seconds. But if you're using him as a lifter up of all damage, then having Daydreams and high explosives would probably be a little bit better of a combination. Outside of that, Fortification can go on fucking anything that has a hexagon. It works so well with anything that has a hexagon. One thing I do want to try it out on is when I get Evil Eye to level 13, having Lightning Reflexes and Fortification when he's sitting right next to Muerta. I think that would work out very, very well. Shielding Muerta, shielding everything around it, making sure less damage, stuff like that. I think that'd be really good. And we'll find out in the future as time progresses. I'm going to be making more videos anyways. Essentially, at this point, we have one card coming up that I am going to be getting, and it's coming out next week, hopefully. I'm hoping it's going to come out next week. It is Galaction. He's a dragon. I want the dragon. I'm going to have the dragon. He creates a black hole at the center of the enemy's half of the board, drags all enemies towards it, deals 153,000 damage, and reduces their attack speed by 25% and slows them down. He does not get a hexagon. However, he gets a shield. He gets a chance to be a dragon with Sharknado, so throwing out sharks. And then obviously his singularity is going to be a really, really, really good perk that I will most likely slap on him as well. So stay tuned for all of that, and I'm going to leave you all the same way I always do. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. See you next time.